Revolution born in the DeFi space. EMP Fusion, leading the race. From EMP to energy, the cycles turn. Passive income streams, it's what we earn. Sacrifice and stake, let your journey begin. In the heart of fusion, everyone wins. Daily rewards, no limit in sight. Building wealth in the digital night. Fusion ignites, the future's in view. Decentralized growth for me and you. Infinite loops, rewards on demand. Together we thrive, in fusion we stand. EMP empowers, energy thrives. In this ecosystem, our wealth arrives. No more middlemen, no centralized ties. Just smart contracts and community ties. The marketplace beckons, a gamified land. With strategy sharp, we take our stand. One single stake, rewards abound. In Fusion's loop, prosperity is found. Fusion ignites, the future's in view. Decentralized growth for me and you. Infinite loops, rewards on demand. Together we thrive, in Fusion we stand. Liquidity pools, where dreams are made. With every transaction, the system's paid. Sustainable growth, a vision so clear. Fusion's ecosystem, year after year. Compounding wealth, it's the Fusion way. Earning rewards every single day. From EMP to energy, the cycle flows. A digital empire, watch how it grows. Fusion ignites, the future's in view. A decentralized world for me and you. Infinite loops, rewards on demand. Together we thrive, in Fusion we stand. The journey's simple, the rewards are vast. In Fusion's loop, wealth grows fast. Sacrifice your EMP, let energy lead. In this ecosystem, you plant the seed. Sustainability, drives a fusion plan. A financial revolution for every man. With innovation at its very core. Fusion unlocks the future to explore. So join the movement, take your place. In the Fusion ecosystem, we embrace a decentralized vision, bold and true. With EMP Fusion, the future's for you. Fusion ignites, the future's in view. A decentralized world for me and you. Infinite loops, rewards on demand. Together we thrive, in Fusion we stand. Revolution.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP Money, our official live stream, where we come to you every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. A little bit late, sorry, we had a crazy good AMA with Alpha Shares, another OG in the space, but we were on the AMA for like 3 hours, so I feel like I'm running the AMA train again on all day, every day, but it's all worth it, lots of exposure to everything we're building, and we have a mega update today. The Great Migration is on. ETH is taking an absolute beating. We'll talk about that and what the future holds. So before we get into all that, though, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps us get the word out, and we have a jam-packed episode today. So before we get into all the notes, I want to introduce my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm good. I just can't believe, holy cow, you were on that stream for so long.
Yeah, I know, it's insane. So we did drop some alpha, though. If you guys have a chance to go back and listen to the X-Base, we were on at the very beginning and then again at the end. But I was actually joined by Tim. A lot of you guys probably don't even know who Tim is. But Tim is an amazing developer in the Web 2 world. that works for DexFi. He's been a long time supporter. Usually it's Jake, obviously, but today was with Tim, and he had a lot of great insights. He is the driving force behind Gia, which is our AI agent, intelligent swarm builder, AI agent marketplace. You name it, everything you could ever want in terms of AI, he is behind. So take a listen to that again. We won't go too much into that tonight, but it was a great little recap on some things, and yeah, things are going really, really well. So keep an eye out for that. Overall, the market, LA, man, I know. I think there was definitely some panicking over the last few days. This week has been brutal. We saw a major correction on Bitcoin and Ethereum, which ultimately led to a lot of tokens bleeding out. I think a lot of it had to just do with the overall traditional finance narrative. Obviously, Trump laid out some pretty, harsh tariffs, and I think that scared the market overall. Love him or hate him, we're not here to talk politics, but I do think it was part of what we call the art of the deal, meaning, come on really strong and then maybe renegotiate down at something that is a little more appropriate. But obviously markets react to that. I think there will be a compromise made, and then once there is, then we start pumping again. And honestly, I mean, being in this is my third full crypto cycle, being in all three, it's very common to see up to a 50% correction on even the biggest blue chips, Bitcoin, ETH, any of the top 20 tokens, before we see a real, a liftoff and the real bull run happen. So honestly, the fundamentals haven't changed. Nothing has changed in terms of Bitcoin and ETH. I do think ETH is struggling a little bit just because there's so much more competition. But it doesn't. There's an ETH ETF. There's institutional interest. Once Bitcoin gets so expensive that people have this, they don't realize you can buy fractional portions of Bitcoin, and they have this mental stigma of buying a $250,000 Bitcoin or whatever it ends up being, then all the spotlight will be on Ethereum again. And so again, I still am fully convicted of have full conviction of an $8,000 to $10,000 Ethereum within the next year. And unfortunately, it does impact our protocols. Again, we have tied our wagon to ETH, but I am still very bullish on that. I think again, right now it doesn't look good, but overall it is bullish. And when we see even an $8,000 Ethereum, that means all of our EMP and microgrids and all of our value doubles from just even peg value, which is probably like probably like a 15x from where we are today. So I think with the market and ETH dumping, obviously, and that's one thing I want to highlight today. We're going to a little bit more. Remember, because our liquidity is tied to Ethereum, when ETH goes down, even though there isn't that much selling happening, it automatically brings the chart down with it, and therefore creates this panic of things people think we're selling off when we really aren't. I mean, granted, we did have some sells over the last week or so, but nothing catastrophic. And it really makes the chart look bad, and peg value and everything else. But overall, if anything, this is the time where we like to say you can go shopping. You always buy when things are red and not green, and there could be some incredible opportunities to load up on EMP, eShare, even just ETH alone. There's a lot of opportunity now, and that's again, you make your money buying low, and taking profit rather than buying high. But a lot of you I know are already in Fusion. Everything's good. The big topic today is the migration, but I just want to start off with some sentiment and overall market conditions, as I think we're still primed to see some great results this year, 100%. I'm still as bullish as ever. So, LA, anything you want to add to that? I know it can be scary, but you want me to go into anything more detailed, or if you have anything to add, go ahead.
Well, I think we have a bunch more details on that topic in our notes ahead, but I feel just as bullish as ever, and I'm taking any of these dips as an opportunity to load up whenever I can.
Yeah, 100%. And that I think is the takeaway on all this for sure. So, all right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. We got a long show today, and we have some really bullish announcements on HVM on Reverse Madness at 8:30. So make sure that you are attending our next AMA as well. But all right, so Ella, you want to kick things off on why peg matters right now, and then I'll elaborate as we go through this.
Yeah, so we really wanted to cover this because I've gotten this question a good handful of times in the chats. But why does peg matter right now at this stage that we're at? So as you know, we have a multi-stage recovery plan, and right now we're in stage 1 of our EMP recovery plan. And I hope that everyone realizes it's 100% completely up to all of us how quickly we accomplish this first stage and move on to even more exciting things. So, stage 1 of that recovery plan is restoring the peg. And why does that matter? Well, when we fully restore peg, we'll have most, if not all, of the EMP inside Fusion. And as we get closer to peg and ETH rises, we'll also witness our microgrids going up in value quite significantly. Most importantly, we can't move on to stage 2 of our plan until stage 1 is complete. And stage 2 involves marketing and all the other activities that will help increase the APRs within Fusion. And when we get to a stage where most, if not all, of the EMP is inside Fusion, we're doing a massive marketing campaign, APRs are rising. We're in a powerful and almost golden position where we have more people wanting in than microgrids available on the marketplace. And that is when we could have potentially a competitive frenzy of people paying top dollar to get their hands on a microgrid. And just a reminder, HVM, dexSwap, GIA, all this stuff that we're building behind the scenes, they will all fuel Fusion rewards. Right now, though, we're trying to support the ecosystem and get back to peg. And so it shouldn't take a weekly or a monthly competition to get deposits within Fusion. We have everything in place and set up to reach all of our goals, but I hope everyone realizes the team can't do it alone. Everyone in this community needs to work together. And so if you're ready to finally experience all of those amazing things we've spoken about, it's time to continuously do your part until we reach peg and where we're trying to go. And no, none of that is financial advice. That's just when we all get to experience the fruits of our labor. And we've certainly really put in the grind this whole way. And it's time to just really amplify things. But right now, when the market is down, that is when we can especially make the biggest impact.
I love it, Ellie. Man, that was pretty damn good. I don't really have a lot to add to that. I couldn't have said it better myself. And yeah, I mean, just to kind of recap on some things, we are in a very transitional phase right now. So, and again, we're going to talk about the migration, what that means moving forward. But remember, like this is the most volatile EMP could potentially get now. So, and it's really not that bad at all. So, knowing what we have coming, loading up right now, getting ready where we get rid of all the baggage and drama of legacy contracts, which we'll also talk about a little bit later. Um, Focusing 100% on Fusion, updating Fusion to now track the new EMP token through the migration, which again we'll go in depth here in a minute. But all of that is, this transitionary period that does create volatility. But those that are here, those that are taking advantage of dips, those that are here for the long run, again, we said it over and over and over again, those are the ones that will succeed the most out of all this. And yeah, I mean, we're setting up the foundation for guaranteed success, and we use that word very lightly around here, guaranteed. But all the economics that are in place will essentially make it a guarantee that over time we are able to recover peg. And we do this through, again, all the revenue streams, the community involvement. Obviously, like LA said, the more support we get from the community, that will absolutely accelerate the peg recovery and help us get there quicker. But the beauty of what we have built in terms of an economic model is that we don't rely on new users. We don't rely on, Podsonomics and all the other stuff that has been the downfall of every other protocol, especially in DeFi. And that is very bullish to me. I mean, again, it's promising. Again, it's not going to happen overnight, but the more support we get from the community, the growth that we're getting right now, all of that will help us get there a lot quicker. So yeah, I think that was a great overview, LA. And again, like you say, if this is as bad as it gets with ETH, you know, touching 2 grand and while we're migrating, I mean, good lord, that was definitely not what we were hoping for. But honestly, the price of EMP and PEG, more importantly, really hasn't gone down that much. So that is a great sign of strength moving forward. So all right, awesome. Anything else you want me to elaborate on with that, LA, before we look at the chart?
You actually segued so perfectly into the next section of our chat. So let's
Perfect.
dive over there.
All right, awesome. All right, so we want to go through a reminder of how the EMP chart works and how it goes up and down, in relation to ETH. So let me go ahead and open the screen share. Hang on, bear with me here. And yeah, LA, if there's anything you want to add while I pull it up, go ahead.
Yeah, so the number one kind of topic that we're going to hit here is I think a lot of the time people can open the EMP chart and kind of take a microscope to the EMP chart alone and not realize that some of the upwards or downwards movement is caused by ETH going up and down and not necessarily buying or selling pressure on EMP. We have had some selling pressure on EMP this past week, but I really believe that a lot of it is due to exactly what we're going to talk about. And so, yeah, we just wanted to dive into this topic of how the EMP chart works and how all red candles are not necessarily selling pressure on EMP specifically.
I love it. Absolutely. And can you see the screen, LA? So
Yep.
this is a perfect example. So this is the new EMP.Fusion, or EMP 2.0. This will be the new token moving forward. Again, we have a full article on all that. We have our updated listing. And as you can see, it still says unknown DEX, but this will eventually say dexSwap. And so we're waiting for all that to index now as well. But this is a perfect example that illustrates what we're talking about. So look at the buy volume and the sell volume. There's actually what, $160 more of buying volume, or 55% buying and only 45% selling, which means there's more buying volume on EMP. But you still see that we are, down overall in terms of percentages. And so that again is very misleading on the chart. Even there, that red candle you're seeing, even though we're still getting more buying pressure than selling pressure, and that is solely because ETH has gone down in that time frame. So again, if ETH is going down and there's zero buying and selling whatsoever, it will automatically make the chart look as if there is selling happening on the candles. So please don't get misled by that. Please don't get fudded out of your own bags, as I like to say. Understand that you really have to just take all that information into account and see where we're at. And it works the other way as well, which is even more bullish. I mean, again, because of the deep liquidity with ETH, the buying and selling pressure maintaining and net neutral. If ETH goes to $4,000 tomorrow, you're going to see a green candle spike, all the way up. So again, it's relative. It is misleading, but don't look at the chart and say, "Oh my God, everybody's selling. It's over." when in reality, there's actually been more buying pressure on EMP than selling. So, LA, does that help,
It does,
explain
yeah.
and illustrate it? Okay.
Yeah, and so I want everyone to understand there's been a 17% hit on Ethereum in the last 7 days, 17.7 to be exact. And so I really believe a lot of what has happened in the past week is either people not understanding the way that the EMP chart works in correlation with ETH, or those just looking at the EMP chart but not really putting two and two together to that ETH has gone way down. And it's normal when you see red candles to kind of get some type of adrenaline or emotion and say, oh shit, everyone's selling. Maybe I should sell. But that's absolutely not the case. And it's people thinking that way that actually cause other people to feel that way. And so, just kind of in a nutshell, I'll go through a few very basic things. Um, Obviously, EMP is pegged to ETH, and even if we're not at peg at the moment, the EMP chart will still very much so mimic the movements of ETH. So when ETH is down by 17% in the last 7 days, that's very much going to affect EMP and cause the price of EMP to go down as well. And so it would be easy for someone to look at the EMP chart, see red candles, and think everyone's selling, but that's very much not the case at all. In fact, just like AJ just demonstrated, there could be more buying pressure than selling pressure. But if ETH takes a massive hit in a short period of time, we can still see red candles and the EMP chart going downwards. And so we've seen in the last week that there's been a lot of selling happening on EMP. And we believe it's because people don't understand the way the chart works. Or they just see the whole market going down and they're selling as much of their stuff as possible. I don't know. But if you understand that and you also understand exactly where we're going, you'll know that the way to get ahead the quickest is to do the exact opposite of what you see other people doing. And so right now there's an absolutely massive opportunity to stock up on EMP and sacrifice at a 5x peg bonus. And so remember, 100,000 SAC points would take approximately 16,597 EMP SAC'd, which at today's afternoon prices was about $2,242. And when we're back at peg and ETH is at 5K, that would be worth $125,000 in that microgrid. And so none of this is financial advice, but if you play it smart and you believe in this project, you would realize that every single dollar we spend on EMP to sacrifice right now can have immense value in the future.
I love it. Absolutely. And I was trying to illustrate a little bit. Again, this isn't going to be exact, but this chart tool right here says a 17% decrease, which has been what the overall decrease was in ETH for the week. And again, this isn't totally exact, but you can see that the price of EMP is above that bottom line, meaning we've outperformed ETH, overall, which again says there is more buying and selling pressure, at least more buying pressure, at least in the last few days, than there was, back here, where everybody was panic selling. So, all right, awesome. I think that really helps illustrate it. And again, this becomes easier and easier and better the less EMP is on the market, because every time we do an injection to help recover peg, we're buying that EMP and then locking it away, and that is less EMP that can be sold at a later date. So it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like a machine that just eats EMP automatically forever until we are at peg. That's why, again, we use the word guarantee loosely, but barring any catastrophic events, it will slowly just stair step back to peg. So all right, awesome, cool. And yeah, so what's next, Ellie? You want to go over the actual migration? What do we want to do?
Yeah, mostly just a reminder, because we did go over it pretty thoroughly last week and we do have the Medium article, but just a reminder to all of you that we are on a ticking clock when it comes to migrate your EMP positions over to dexSwap. So we're mainly talking about any liquid EMP and any EMP ETH LP that you have. We published a very comprehensive article on Medium showing you exactly how to do it and answering all of the most frequently asked questions. I linked that in all of our groups and socials again today. And so you'll just head over to the pin post, click on the article, and follow along step by step. There's nothing that you need to do with your eShare at this time. But one thing I did kind of want you to go over, AJ, was what to do if they have any EMP over on Pulse Chain, because we haven't gone over that yet.
Yes, that's a great point. So let me go ahead and pull up Sparkswap. Hang on. Okay, can you guys see this? Let me refresh. All right, so yes, this is a great point. So I know a lot of you were providing liquidity on Pulse Chain, which is great. But again, you're gonna have to convert your EMP and then bring it back again if you want to. Or right now we have to update the bridge anyway. So I would suggest just bridging it over and waiting for dexSwap to integrate to Pulse. And then again, you won't have to bridge back, 10 different times. But the overall gist of it is if you have EMP on our farms, again, you just go, you withdraw. I think it's one at the bottom here. Find the exact pool. There, right there on right here. So if you do have any EMP ETH LP in this farm, you would just unlock your wallet. I'm on a test wallet. I don't have any gas on Pulse with this, so it won't show. But unlock your wallet, withdraw the LP, go ahead and go to liquidity, and then break that LP. So it will show up here. You can break it, and then you get EMP and ETH, and then you'll go over to the bridge, and you'll be able to transfer your EMP back to BSC. So just like that. And some people are asking about the 1,000 EMP minimum. Unfortunately, you will have to just buy a little more EMP if you are below that minimum, and then you'll be able to bridge over. So again, with the new EMP token and everything transitioning with Sparkswap to dexSwap, your best option is moving it off of Pulse. And honestly, there's really not that much liquidity left anyway. I think there's like maybe 50K of liquidity. So a lot of you have already done this anyway. But yeah, does that help, LA, for Pulse side?
Yep, that's perfect. Yep.
Okay. And then I just wanted to go over a little bit
And then
more.
also, just sorry, when you're bridging, just because this came up the other day, but when you're bridging, please just take a look at the amount you're going to receive on the other side before putting your transaction through. Make sure you're satisfied and everything. If you are experiencing any price impact, just divide a larger bridge transaction into smaller chunks.
Yeah, absolutely. Great points. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit more in the Q&A. But yeah, I mean, again, you got to be able to, you got to pay attention. I mean, we build the protocol the best that we can, but there's many factors, including, slippage and daily volume and, chain congestion that may play into what you're going to get or not get through the bridge. So it's not a fault of the protocol. It's a decentralized code. We're not looking at every individual transaction and saying, charge this person more. It's all decentralized. So just make sure that before you press the button, you're happy with the results that you're going to get for sure. So, all right, awesome. I want to explain a little bit more about the process and the urgency as well. Hang on. All right, so again, just to go from literally the very first step to the very last step, if you want to make sure you check the old EMP site, EMP.Money, and you go to the farm section, make sure you withdraw any of your LP from the farms. Again, this hasn't been paying for literally over a year now, so you should have already removed LP from this long ago. But if you haven't, make sure you do that first. Then you will have EMP ETH LP, old EMP ETH LP in your wallet, and then you will go to the dexSwap. So you can click that link that was on the homepage or go there directly, dexSwap.com, and click on this button right here, EMP migration, and it will automatically recognize your LP in your wallet. So I've already done this, but I'm going to back up. Hang on, let me go back here. All right, so the very first screen you will see is this, split your EMP ETH LP. Again, when you pull your EMP ETH LP out of the farm, you have what we call an EMP ETH LP token. It's represented as a token. You can either break your LP manually, but a lot of you don't know how to do that, which is fine, and this is why we built this. It will recognize the LP that you have. So right now I don't have any, but it will say, maybe 1,000 LP tokens that you have, and it will show you at this part the amount of EMP and the amount of ETH that you will get on swapping. So if you do have LP, then do this step and hit approve, hit swap, and then you'll end up with the old EMP and ETH in your wallet. If you don't have EMP ETH LP, then you can just skip this step and hit next step right here. And then again, whether you have broken the LP or you just go right to this step of the thing, it will automatically recognize your EMP. The old EMP is up here, and then you will receive the EMP 2.0, which is the new EMP, and that is a 1-to-1 conversion. Easy, super simple. Again, if you're already in Fusion, you don't have to do anything. All that will be updated automatically. This is simply for liquid EMP, and you must do this step. So I can't stress this enough. Within the next month, and if not sooner, you absolutely have to transition your old EMP to new EMP, or you are at risk of potentially losing the value. So again, we're not here to screw anybody. We have some things in place if you don't do this step, but I'm going on record and saying that it's really important that you do this if you want to, continue to be part of the protocol. So, and then the third step is once you do that, again, you have to approve and have it go through. Each step is an approval and a swap. So don't just do the approval and then forget to swap. You're gonna not. It still won't work. So, and again, we're happy to show you. You can look on DBank to see if you did it right. The new EMP token is now indexed on Rabi wallet as well, so you'll be able to see it show up. If you're on MetaMask, you still may have to import the token address, but again, all this is in the article LA mentioned and in our socials. All right, and then the last step is the vaults. So again, if you went through that whole process, if you do have ETH in your wallet, BNB ETH, then you can pair your EMP and ETH into a vault. So again, this is just another way to kind of earn or actually support the protocol as well. Obviously, we want people to have positions in Fusion first. So the number one thing I would say is whatever ETH you get from this, buy more EMP and sacrifice that to make sure you have, a very healthy position in Fusion. But maybe you're already in Fusion. Maybe you want to have some flexibility, but you still want to help the protocol. The vaults are really, really important for that. So you have two options. You can do the EMP ETH AILM, which is the first one here. If you hit plus, it will add. You can only choose one or the other. So if you make a mistake, exit the trash can and then do this one. All right, so that's a full range. So, and what the difference is between the two, the EMP ETH AILM, sorry, my daughter's going crazy. The EMP ETH AILM is a little bit more risky in terms of permanent loss, but you will get a bigger percentage. from the fees. So again, just be aware that if there is massive movements on ETH or EMP, you may end up receiving less EMP than if you would have just held it. The EMP ETH full range is a little less risky, but you're getting a little bit less yield. And what is really cool about the vaults is by going into the vaults, you're actually helping put buy pressure on EMP as well, because both of these vaults are 100% compound. So that means that all the fees that you earn through, again, liquidity providing and through the DEX will actually buy more EMP and ETH and add it to your position. So this is a really cool way to, number one, get more EMP and ETH automatically, and help the protocol by putting a ton of buying pressure on EMP as we go to continue to help us regain peg. So all right, I know there was a lot of info. You may have to watch that back. We'll clip this part so that you can go through and look at it as a tutorial. We can even maybe upload it separately or put a timestamp. But LA, does that help explain from point A to point Z on the whole thing?
Hell yeah.
All right,
And if you need a reminder, every one of those steps is also in the article.
Perfect. All right. What is up next? I guess the only other thing, let me show here. So we have some really healthy liquidity. Already $230,000 of liquidity on EMP. We will be moving more and more liquidity over. Again, remember, like I said, if you don't move your liquidity by the end of the month, then the old EMP will be going away. So just be aware of that. We are going to be extracting the liquidity from the old token and putting it into the new token, as well as helping bolster peg recovery and rewards. As long as you follow the steps, you get full one-to-one value out of that. So it's really important that you do it within this month. And again, we're not here to screw anybody. So if you do happen to not check in to EMP for months at a time, there will be an option, but it will be a lot more complicated. So just keep that in mind. And I'm going on record saying that on AMA, so people are warned. All right, and then I just want to mention eShare BNB real quick too. So feel free to add liquidity for eShare BNB now. We have a lot of liquidity, 50K, that will be growing. So if you want to buy and sell eShare, here is the place to do it. So again, not on PancakeSwap anymore. There's still about 20 grand of liquidity on the old Pancake LP. That's mainly because of Reactor, which will be going away. Again, we'll talk about that in a minute too. But all the liquidity will be over here in the next few weeks. So and we will be adding more liquidity to eShare BNB2, and all the volume from batteries and the marketplace, everything else will be updated to route through dexSwap. So this is really, really important. And you will be able to even, I think Grover did this as well. You'll be able to create vaults on eShare BNB as well if you want to earn and hold eShare for price appreciation as we go. So again, this is instrumental of keeping everything in-house. It's better prices for all of you. It's more revenue for us as a protocol. It's literally a win-win for everything. And we need to be promoting dexSwap as the new premier DEX. Obviously, we did a soft launch. We didn't have a sell another token, so we're really relying on a really grassroots effort of continuing to scale. And hopefully, as soon as we get indexed on DEX Screener, that should happen in the next few days or so as a new DEX. That will also help so people don't think it's a scam DEX if they've never heard of us. So, all right, awesome. One last comment too. We are updating the routing of the pairs, but just to be safe over the next few days, make sure that when you do trade, you pick the right combination. So, for instance, EMP ETH and eShare BNB, when you go to trade, oh, hang on, go to trade, yeah, ETH EMP, again, make sure you're choosing ETH and not, like BNB or eShare. The internal routing is not set up yet until we have more liquidity, so it does have to be asset to asset. And so again, like in this situation, it would be eShare and BNB. So that would go through like that. So yeah, all right. Cool. I mean,
Okay,
we're making
couple
headway. Yeah,
last
what else?
things. Yeah, just a reminder that you have until February 28th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time to complete this migration. Please try your best not to wait till the last minute. We're reminding you all now so that you take care of it.
Perfect.
And then second thing is deposits inside Fusion are paused for the next few days while we integrate the new code for EMP 2.0.
Yes. So again, that's a really good point. We're trying to get this upgraded ASAP. It could be another few days. So again, don't panic if you can't deposit into Fusion, and we postponed the competitions as well. But we're hopefully going to update this ASAP. And remember, the only way to deposit into Fusion is with the new EMP. So that's another reason that you have to migrate. If you have the old EMP and you try to deposit and it doesn't work, then you know there's that you you haven't migrated yet. So again, this is just the, I know it's kind of confusing and maybe a pain, but this is just the steps that we have to go through, and it will be very temporary. I mean, the next week or two, we'll have all this behind us, and we'll be absolutely cranking, streamlined, ready to roll. No more drama, no more legacy contracts, just focused 100% on Fusion. Cool.
Awesome. And that being said, let's move on to discuss the legacy contracts.
Yes, 100%. So let me go ahead and get back to my dashboard. Okay. All right. So we are working on the final stages of this. So here we go. All right, now I can't concentrate. So yeah, again, I'll happy to answer any questions. We have all the on-chain data of who deposited, who withdrew, wallet by wallet. There's over 4,000 different wallets that have interacted with Detonator, Reactor, or Sentinels, or nodes, and we have a really great plan of what we think is fair. We will, like I said all along, we will announce the exact formula, but just to give everybody a heads up, the formula as it sits right now is roughly what you deposited in terms of detonator and reactor. We determine a dollar value because again, it's based on assets that fluctuate in value. So it is based on current dollar value, and then you are getting credit. A lot of people were asking if we're getting credit for lottery wins or compounding. And the answer is yes. So again, I'll release the actual formula that we're using, but it's essentially what you've deposited into detonator reactor, what you've withdrawn, and if you've compounded, those count as a 365, which was the displayed APR or ROI rather. And so you again will be getting a credit as if you were able to live the life of the contract. So again, it's a lot easier to show you rather than talk about it. But that's a plan for reactor and detonator. It will go as sacrifice points into Fusion at peg value. So again, you won't be getting the 4x or at this point 5x multiplier based on peg. It will be just stack points directly. And remember, a stack point is calculated at 1-to-1 with EMP at peg. So this will help with the dilution. Again, we've done all the math. We're still working on it all, but honestly, the dilution is a lot less than I had originally thought. So that's really, really promising for all of you that are still in Fusion. And a lot of you were already in the legacy contracts anyway, which means you're getting credit to bring up your ownership. So the dilution will be even less. But even if you are just in Fusion without having a position in any of the legacy contracts, you will still not experience a ton of dilution. And again, this is it. Like in terms of dilution, other than the rest of the EMP that eventually has to go into Fusion, your ownership will only grow from the time we do this, because as a protocol, we're always buying and burning stack points as well. So it may be a little scary for the first few days when you see your ownership go down a little bit, but again, this is to get rid of all the drama, all the legacy issues, and honestly, we're literally making good on everything that we have said, in terms of value, especially with nodes. So I've said all along that nodes are going to be treated a little bit differently because it's EMP in and EMP out, not eShare, BNB, or EMP ETH, because again, technically it's only with detonator, only half of that was EMP. So that's really exciting too. Nodes will be getting literally all the value that they were originally advertised as. So, and then NFTs will be a flat rate of $150 per NFT. So again, that's half what you paid for them roughly. And we've done all the math, and 99% of people were able to withdraw at least half of the value of the NFT already over the last year. So again, literally nobody from legacy contracts will be getting uh, left in the cold, so to speak. So I'm excited for that. I think we're almost there. Like I said, we have the formulas finished. I just finished all the formulas yesterday, and we need about one more week maybe to set up the crediting system. But it will absolutely be within the month. So February is the month of transition. You have to migrate. You get credit for your legacy contracts, and then after this month, we start fresh with a bright future. Everything set to move forward, and as the title says, it's a very bullish future for all of us, and I couldn't be more excited for that. I think we're probably the only protocol on the face of the earth that has given credit when it's not something we have to do. It's something that we want to do. And if you hate EMP and you think you got screwed, or you again, I'll keep my comments to a minimum, but you're always able to sell your microgrid and move on. So again, there has to be a buyer, but I know a lot of VIPs as well as the protocol are excited to see cheap microgrids on the market for those that don't want to be here anymore. So. All right, awesome. Anything you want to add
Again,
to that, LA? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, again, this includes all DAAS contracts, so generator, reactor, and detonator. It includes nodes and Sentinel and Defender NFTs. So those are all clumped into what AJ just spoke about. AJ, one question that was coming up on Discord today that I'm hoping you can answer for everyone. When this crediting happens, a few questions rolled into one. Will you consolidate the crediting into one account for those who have more than one account? Or will you send it to a different account if they ask? And then third part of that question, prior to you doing the crediting, can they send their NFTs to a different account so the crediting will happen in that account?
Yeah, so I think I can handle all that. The short answer is it is based on wallet address. So whatever wallet you had NFTs or detonator or reactor or nodes, that is the wallet that's credit. We had originally said that you have to have a microgrid. You have to buy at least a minimum microgrid um, to get credit. That is no longer the case. So again, you will be given credit just based on the wallet address, and we are working on a way that you have to actually verify the wallet. So again, we're not airdropping, or again, airdropping is probably not the right word, but we're not giving credit to all the participants unless they're, active and signing. And again, we say this all the time. If somebody comes back 6 months later and says, "What happened to my position?" All you have to do is open a ticket, and we'll work with you one on one. But again, we can't leave things open indefinitely. We do everything we can to reward the people that are paying attention and sticking with us, and and investing in their investment within EMP. So just keep that in mind. But again, in a worst case scenario, you don't feel like you got the credit you deserved, or there's another issue, you can always open a ticket. Just let us move through the automatic system now. And yeah, the short answer is no. You can't pick a different wallet address. Number one, everything is decentralized, so we're not actually doing this one by one. This is all code on the internet. Again, I think that's a crazy misconception still. People think LA and I and the devs are in the basement picking and choosing what we do. That is not at all the case. I mean, I didn't create the code, LA didn't create the code. This is decentralized code on the internet, and we just have to make it work uh, to support the protocol. So that's what we're doing. And yeah, in that situation where you maybe wanted to have your microgrid combined with your another wallet, we are going to work on a solution for that allows you to transfer or absorb your NFT, or you can just sell it to yourself in the marketplace. So again, that is on the roadmap. I know a lot of you have been asking for like a transfer function without having to sell it to yourself. So we're going to work on that. But a lot of it too is a security feature, so people can't get hacked and have their wallets, sent or have their microgrid sent to a different wallet. So we're working on all that. Yeah, did that answer? I know. Sorry, LA. That was like a lot of questions in one.
Mhm.
I forgot.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The only question that I'll ask again is, I know you mentioned that there was already a snapshot taken. What happens if someone transfers their NFTs to a different wallet right now before we've done the crediting?
Yeah, so there still will be a checks and balances system. So again, I would say don't transfer anything. There is the snapshot was taken as soon as we took the UI down just to prevent any exploits. And again, that would be, maybe if you had NFTs listed on the marketplace or not in your wallet, that would be a situation that you would have to open a ticket, at a later date. So just keep track of that. If you are buying and selling NFTs now, you won't get credit, so keep that in mind as well. But if you own an NFT and you can pull it back into your wallet off the marketplace and then hold on to it until after the migration, and then open a ticket, then we can give you credit. You just send the NFTs and we burn them. So again, we just want to avoid any potential exploits. So there has to be a check and balance system. So short answer is don't do anything. If you have NFTs in your wallet, if they're on the marketplace, you can remove them and wait for March 1st to open a ticket.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right, so I'm just going to check Discord one more time. Yeah, that was all the questions from Discord and everything that I thought of to ask. I think that we've covered most of the questions on the live chat. Here's one that you could go over. If I wanted to buy more EMP with USDT, is that ready on dexSwap?
Yes, great question. So, unfortunately, no, right now. So again, we're updating the routing. We have to basically get more liquidity over on the other pairs like USDT and USDC, so that you're not getting killed with slippage. And that is part of the migration process. Again, all the LP that we're able to recover from the old EMP, that goes right back into the ecosystem. And that will be able to help deepen the liquidity. It sets us up for a lot of success that way. But the short answer is what you can do is use PancakeSwap or any other swap for the moment. Again, this is just very short term. You should be using dexSwap for everything in the future, but for right now, you can just swap your USDT or USDC to BSC Ethereum and then use that Ethereum because again, the Ethereum you get in your wallet is the same over the entire chain. Does that make sense, Ellie?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right, here's another question. How much in dollar value is required to reach peg?
Yeah, so that might be a question for Grover. I know he's doing the math every day on that, but I can say the short answer is a lot less than you would think. I mean, when we were at like a 7x to peg, the number we were throwing around was about 400,000. Now, we're only at a 4x peg. So in theory, it should be, about half that. So again, maybe 200K. It's hard to say just because the price of ETH, the amount of EMP you're getting for the dollar value, there's a lot of variables. But the short answer is, a lot less than you may think, for sure.
Not much. Like we can hit it very quickly when we all work together.
Yeah, totally. I mean, again, even at 400K, that's nothing in DeFi. That's like, three whales. So yeah, we can easily get there. And again, we said it multiple times, like, we have enough in the coffers to make it happen quicker, but we don't want to provide exit liquidity for people either. So this approach of a short of a short of a safe and steady stream of peg recovery is exactly what we want to do. And again, even though the chart looks a little worse now because of ETH, we're still on that gradual stair step of recovering peg. And we have been literally from the day that we launched Fusion because of the way the economics are.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to point out is we're not naive enough to think that nobody else is going to sell the entire way up. There's for sure still some people with a little bit of EMP they may want to sell on the way up who maybe haven't been following along with the project or for whatever reason don't want to get into Fusion. But if we're playing it smart, what we would do is we would do the opposite of what anyone with FUD would or fear would do. We'll watch the charts for dips, and those are the moments that we pounce, because that's when we get the most bang for our buck when we're depositing into Fusion. That's when we get the maximum peg bonus and we get EMP for the cheapest. I mean, if we're watching the charts in a smart way, we're watching for those few people who do want to sell on the way up, and we take that EMP and it'll never be in the hands of someone who just wants to sell ever again.
Yeah, 100%. And again, I mean, just looking at the data right now, the amount of people that have migrated EMP to the new EMP is very tiny. Whether that is because, people have forgotten about the protocol and moved on, people got hacked, people lost wallets. The same happens with Bitcoin. There's people that have had Bitcoin since 2010, the first days of Bitcoin that are literally looking through landfills to get their Bitcoin back. So this whole process really allows us to shed a lot of dead weight. And again, it's not about screwing anybody. It's about streamlining the process. And if you do come back to EMP a year from now and say, "Hey, what happened?" We have things in place to look and give you the credit you deserve. But we need to really be prioritizing those that are here, putting in the effort, putting in the bricks, helping us become successful. I mean, we never were not successful, but becoming successful as a new protocol rather than the old EMP tomb fork. And all this is part of the process. But why I brought that all up just now was what LA said. There's really very little EMP left even this moment. Like again, I think people aren't realizing. I mean, literally at this point, it's probably 90%, 90% of the entire EMP supply is accounted for. I mean, again, that is unheard of. When we say there may not be any more EMP on the market, like that's not an exaggeration. That is 100% what we're shooting for. So, you yeah, don't be left behind. Again, I know a lot of you that are on these AMAs are really dialed in, and we appreciate that. That makes our lives a lot easier. It makes you a lot more successful. And we're just going to continue, building and grinding and creating more revenue streams and continuing to grow. Again, we're here for the long run for sure.
Love it.
Cool. I do want to give a real quick shout out to Brett Outlook, Peg Progress. So yeah, shout out to Brett Outlook, one of our OG supporters, and was super helpful and instrumental in some of the math behind the migration of legacy contracts. So shout out to him. And yeah, we're being as fair as we can be without, again, driving the protocol off a cliff of dilution and being unfair to those that always did what we said to do and have positions in the farms, never go too heavy in nodes or detonator reactor generator. All those were games, and we've never wavered on our stance with that. But this transitionary period is really amazing for everybody. And again, I don't know any other protocol that would put the amount of effort and goodwill into what we're doing for sure.
Love it. Totally agree.
Cool.
So shout out to Grover as well. He says it's around 300K to get back to peg. So that's not much at all. And if we were to all contribute, I mean, we would get back there so quickly. So it's just a matter of when we're going to do that all together, not if.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, with the concentrated liquidity, again, that does complicate things a little bit. If everybody was at a full range position, like V2, we can calculate it a little bit easier. But now, that we are V3 compatible, there's a lot more EMP liquidity at lower ranges, which we have to get buying pressure to move through. But, the point is, if you are, in these tight ranged concentrated liquidity pools, just looking to exit EMP, once you sell your EMP, you may never ever be able to buy it cheaper than what it is. So just be fully aware of that. It's a dangerous game of trying to exit, and not being able to participate in fusion, because you'll either have to buy it at a much higher price through microgrids, or just lose out on all the potential yield that is coming. And remember, we get flack all the time, like, my microgrid is worth so much, but I'm making $1 a day. Yes, that is what is happening right now, but that is not what will happen in the future. Right now, all of our resources, all of the economic energy is being put towards, future development, more revenue streams, peg recovery, everything that we have to do to not sell our native assets to pay for things and have the infrastructure that it takes to be successful long term. And now that dexSwap is finished, all the stuff that we've been building is finished. I mean, there is not a lot more left to build in terms of, obviously the game, we have that coming. That is still a heavy lift. But we've really, really dialed in all of our revenue streams, and now we can start eating on the yield when we recover peg, and when we can just put rewards right into fusion. The APR and APY will definitely be very, very attractive.
Love it.
Cool. All right, that was a very good one today. About an hour
Yeah.
in. Yeah, I feel like we covered everything we needed to. We have a big announcement for HVM coming up next. A lot of you already know that we are transitioning to BSC with the GG token. But we have a big announcement on a little bit more about that at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So about a half an hour. Make sure you are following the Universe Madness account. And not this week. We were hoping to have it this week, but next week for sure we will be unveiling a brand new hero character that is absolutely epic. It will be the first playable character in the game. We have a whole unveil trailer that Julius did. And if it doesn't get you excited for the game, I don't know what will, but it's really, really cool. So please, again, make sure you're following with all that. And even though, again, Universe Madness is technically a separate business, you should be bullish on Universe Madness because that is revenue that comes back to EMP and DexFi. So again, GDEX, EMP, eShare, the rewards through Fusion, all of this matters. So please, again, help us, create the momentum and keep the momentum and get people excited. Again, just to wrap up a little bit, vaults have been killing it. Our private investment opportunity has been killing it. Where deposits are closed for that, but if you want to get in next month, send me a DM on Twitter or Telegram. That's been doing 10% a month, for the last 4 months. Again, utilizing real yield from the vaults. The vaults are killing it. TVL's down a little bit, but that's just because of the market is bleeding out. We've had a ton of new users. We did a great AMA today to get more users, and Gia, again, that's another major update. If you don't know about Gia, please, we teased it on some of the older AMAs, but Gia is now live. She is a AI agent marketplace, and DexFi AI will be an entire marketplace for both Web 2 and Web 3 AI agents, or what we call swarms, which is multiple AI agents working together. And we'll do an AMA on this eventually as a standalone because it's just so incredible. Shout out to Tim. Again, I mentioned him earlier. He's one of the major brains behind coding it, and obviously all of our original Web3 devs too. But this is really powerful. I mean, it is something that not only will scale to, Web3, but also to Web2. And just to give an example of what we're talking about, these are our AI agents are essentially, virtual assistants that can help you in many different things. Two of the most bullish examples that I have are, in terms of the vaults. If you're, say, as a hypothetical, you're not very familiar with the vaults on how they work, you maybe don't trust yourself, you could set up an AI agent to go through DexFi vaults, look at the most profitable vaults that are on the platform with different parameters. Say you want the most profitable vault that is not a meme token. It will find that vault. It will deposit your assets into that vault, and it will manage it for you with your, again, all your permission. So the what AI agents can do are just mind-boggling. And the other bullish case, which we're utilizing in-house, is advertising. I mean, these agents can tweet on your behalf. They can follow, other influencers. They can have full-on intelligent conversations with influencers about your token, completely hands off. I mean, good God. I mean, how much more bullish can it get? So, portfolio management and advertising are the two major use cases. And there's 10,000 more use cases as well. Even setting up your own trading bot that you actually own and control, not these copy trading bots that everybody uses. It'll actually be like you have a professional trader in your computer doing it for you. So there's just so many amazing things, and all those AI agents will only be purchasable with Gia token. So again, that's why Gia is very bullish, and the tokenomics are super healthy long term. for that as well. So, all right, I feel like I don't know what more I can say. It's just we have so many things that are coming to fruition, and I don't know any other DeFi protocols that are performing on the level that we are. And that's not to be arrogant. It's just to be give you guys an idea of all that we're doing behind the scenes. So, all right, anything you want to add to LA? I'm I'm getting too excited. So
You're
go ahead.
getting warmed up for another AMA. I don't know how you do it.
I know, no doubt. You
He's getting
guys, all,
more and
all you
more
guys,
energy as he goes.
yeah, all you guys make it worth it. That's for sure. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We always love to see all of you. We always love your questions. We're on to big things right now. This transition during the month of February with the migration and everything is a necessary step to get to where we all want to be. But let's fucking go, guys.
I love it. We got to let's fucking go from LA. She's as bullish as I am. Yeah, and please, please, please spread the word about the migration. If you are in other groups that again, EMP has been around for the last 3 years. Those private groups or Twitter or whatever else, let people know we are migrating. They need to take advantage of this and get excited about EMP again. I mean, we're not going anywhere. We didn't slow rug. We didn't do anything other than what we have said we were going to do from day one. And yes, we've pivoted. Yes, it's not exactly what we set out to do the day that we launched, but that's the sign of a great team and great protocol that can recognize the time to pivot and stay relevant to their current landscape and always focus on revenue, because no matter what, as long as you have real yield, you can get through pretty much anything in terms of sustainability. So, all right, awesome. Thank you, LA. Again, much love to you and everybody else. Thank you all for sticking with us through this. It will be a little bit of a hectic time over the next month, but little by little, we get behind, put all this in the past, and move forward with Fusion full speed ahead. And then I know a lot of you have been wanting that next AMA train. So, once we get past this, we start recovering PEG again, we get closer and closer. We'll be doing a full marketing campaign around Fusion again to get us over the finish line in terms of PEG recovery. So, all right, awesome. Thank you all. Good night, good day. We will see you on Thursday. And again, please make sure to join us for the HVM live stream next. All right. Bye bye, everyone.